is me competing in a Marvel Rivals tournament, but in order to find out how I got here, about my excruciating training arc, and why I'm walking in epic slow motion, we need to start from the beginning. So I've just woken up and I've been informed that I am playing in a Marvel Rivals tournament. I don't know what I'm doing at all. I think the last time I played Rivals was 11 months ago, maybe a year. Well, whenever the Fantastic Four came out. So, is the thing still meta? I don't know who's on my team. I don't know who to play. It's going to be interesting. I mean, hopefully we win. Who knows? I might win. Now, in case you don't know what Marvel Rivals is, imagine you put together a game where every MCU character, and beyond, all have guns and shoot each other 6 versus 6 style until one team captures an objective and wins. All the characters are divided up into 3 categories: Vanguard, aka Tank, Duelist, aka DPS or Damage, and Strategist, aka Support. Except Deadpool, who's decided he's going to be all 3 roles, but that doesn't really matter. It's very similar to Overwatch, except it's in third person, so imagine the angle you get when you're playing Fortnite, and hey presto, you've got Marvel Rivals. Now, I played a lot of this game when it first released. I probably religiously played this game for like 2 months straight. I particularly enjoyed playing Captain America because at the time he wasn't very good and it was really satisfying to beat people with him. But as with a lot of games, I kind of grew a bit tired of it and it eventually ended back up on my shelf of games that I just never end up playing again, as I turned my focus back to movie content and work. But now it's time to come back out of retirement. And I thought, what better idea could I have than just to jump straight into a few matches, see what I can remember before this tournament comes around. Oh no, oh no. Oh god. Oh, not again. Don't, please, 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 please. Oh. Oh, no. What? How can they win whilst I'm on the point? That doesn't make sense. Nope. How do I need to shoot. It's impossible, man. Upgrades? What is this? Oh, I've just picked the hardest character. What? So how do I beat that? Brilliant. I get a kill and then I just die. How do you avoid that? Wonderful. Yay. I suck, man. Okay, so that didn't really go to plan. But maybe it's just a blip. We've all had bad games, right? Look, I have practiced with my team for the first time later tonight, so let's just see how that goes.
Who's the guy who plays the TV show one? What's his name?
Grant Gustin.
Oh my god, he's
Yeah, he is great.
He is fantastic.
It's just a shame he's too old to play the Flash now.
He's not.
No, he is though, isn't he?
He's not. He's not.
No, he is though, isn't he?
He's not.
He is though, isn't he?
He really isn't. He's like 30-something, 40-something.
Yeah, that's really old.
So with my solo games not going too great, and my team training just turning into a conversation about why Grant Gustin is the best Flash, I was definitely starting to get a little bit nervous. And that's because I never told you a very big problem. The highest rank I ever got to in this game was Platinum. It's not bad, but in this tournament, my team are going to be playing against some very high level players. We're talking Grandmasters, we're talking Celestial level players here, all of which are ranks that are significantly higher than mine. If I thought this was going to be difficult before, then this problem just doubled it. I have some serious work cut out for me if I want to be ready for this tournament, so I better get to work.
I don't need recognition. I'm on a mission. I'm paying dues. I'm in position. I'm staying up. It's getting late. You're doing good. I'm doing great. Recognition. I'm on a mission. I'm paying dues. I'm in position. I'm staying up. It's getting late. You're doing good. I'm doing great. Hours of practice, they don't feel like working. Overthinking, I don't mean to let the pain and hurting. I was main stage with Tiny at a festival. Realities of just less than 24 hours pass and I'm back to working.
Now, you can't have a super sick training montage without a super emotional sob story. Good job, I have just the thing. When I was 22, I played in a football match. I was in goal and sorry, it's just a lot. I suffered a really bad injury to my right index finger. I couldn't use a mouse for 6 weeks. Doctors said I'd be lucky if I ever got to play competitively again. They suggested I switch to controller. I'm sorry. Can we just cut here, because it's just too much for me. I'm sorry. Anyway, enough of that. At last, I'm starting to see some real improvements in my gameplay. I managed to secure a bunch of wins and also picked up MVP on a few different characters as well. This newfound confidence has gotten me so hyped up for this tournament that I can't wait to get there. So let's go. Now, as we travel over to Worcester in the UK, you might be wondering, Harvey, why are you even in a Marvel Rivals esports tournament? You do movie reviews and TikTok content, and that's true. But this tournament is slightly different, and to explain this in more detail, I'm going to hand this over to Cole Skillbeck, the organiser of this event.
Hello, my name is Cole Skillbeck. Now, I've always had a big passion for esports. I studied it in uni. I know that's a degree, and I've always wanted to use it for some good, and I thought what best to do it with all your friends, play Marvel Rivals, raising money for a good cause, and that good cause being the Huntington Disease Association. Now, Huntington's is a mixture of Alzheimer's, Parkinson's and ALS, and unfortunately it is inherited. A few years ago, me and my family found out that there is a possibility that my nan could have Huntington's, or more specifically the Huntington's gene, which doesn't really become effect until further on down in life. Now, unfortunately, my nan did have the gene, which also means there was a likelihood that my dad would have it, and lo and behold, my dad did have the gene, so there stands a chance that I could have the gene. I haven't been tested for it yet, but I'm not going to let that define me or change the way I live. If I get it, I get it. But raising money for this cause not only helps with the awareness, but it will also help with the future medical advancements. I believe there's already been a confirmed case of Huntington's being cured, which is great. That's the first confirmed case ever, and it's huge. But yeah, playing a really nerdy game with all my nerdy friends is great, and I can't wait. I'm super excited, and I am so grateful for everyone who's donated so far. So, love you all, and I will see you there, gamers.
So, playing a fun game with friends and other creators, count me in. It sounds awesome to me, and what better way to do it than that? Thank you, Cole, for sharing that. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got to go and get ready for this event. Here's how the whole thing's going down. Everybody at this event has been divided up into 3 teams. Every team plays each other in a round-robin phase to begin with. The most successful team through this phase receives a bye straight to the final, leaving the other 2 teams to have to fight it out against each other to earn their spot, with the winner of the final being crowned champions. Safe to say, I was bricking it. The other teams were already getting in practice rounds, whilst my team had never even played a handful of games together at all. However, anything can happen in this game, and with that, the tournament was starting. Now, the first game luckily was being played between the other 2 teams, which gave me the chance to observe and try and figure out which players were going to be trouble. Immediately I noticed that both teams were running triple support, which is and has been the strongest meta of this game's lifetime. However, they only seem to be going with 1 tank each, which means there could be an opening there. Finally, it was time for my team's first match. I took a deep breath, I sat down, and I selected Hulk. Yeah, well, apparently there was another plan cooking in the background for my team, which I had to go with. We all decided to play characters that we were decent at, but didn't really think we'd play in the long game, in the hope that we'd be able to throw off the enemy team. This didn't work, so...
To try and save us from completely losing the first point, I decided to switch to Thor. I figured it was too early to bust out the Captain America yet, and Thor has got very good damage output with his F ability Awakening Rune, which comes in very handy when pushing the enemies off a point. Thanks to an insane triple kill from our Spider-Man, we eventually managed to reclaim the point for our own. My attention then turned to the Groot and the Strange. With only Luna Snow alive, I managed to pick off the Groot as she can't heal both tanks effectively. And with the help of a well-timed Gambit ultimate, we managed to clean up the rest of the enemy team and take the first point. It's a best of 3 though, so there's still a long way to go. My team and I decided to stick with our current picks. Straight away I identified the Rocket's Beacon. This can literally revive a dead player, which we don't want, so I take it out quick. I then go on the offensive in their backline since I'm quite overextended already. Poor Jeff finds himself stuck in a corridor, so I take him out before quickly turning to try and help my Jeff fight the enemy Rocket. So far so good as we are still in the possession of the point, but a sneaky Groot tries to flank and steal it from right under us. I take charge and fully commit to the 1v1. Look, I definitely went overkill here, but I needed to secure this kill, so I used my God of Thunder ultimate. I hang back just in case the enemy tries anything, and they do! Spider-Man swings onto the point in a last-ditch effort to reclaim the objective. I clearly just froze him in fear with the power of my Thor Force, and that is game, set, and match, and not only did we win, but I also got MVP of the game. Now, I was ecstatic. My team and I had never even played a full game together, and we came away winning our first match. That's what I'm talking about. However, the enemy Moon Knight, who was actually causing us quite a bit of trouble in the first round, crashed mid-game, meaning that the whole second point was just a 6v5, which we were always going to win. Look, is it a bit scummy to take this as a win? Yeah. But I am absolutely going to take it, because a win is a win in my eyes. Our next match wouldn't be so easy though, as we're up against the team that also beat Team 2. Our team remained the same, except I finally thought it was time to pick up the shield and give Captain America a proper go. On the way to the point, I was kind of expecting a flank, so I make sure to not fully commit to a dive on their back line quite yet. And I was right in thinking that, because the enemy Thor appears on the left out of nowhere. He instantly assaults my Jeff, and sadly before I can engage, he's already dead. I attempt to try and mitigate some of the pressure on my back line, but Thor pops his lightning round and takes me out before I can even react. As we were currently running 2 dive tanks in Captain America and Venom, I decided to switch to something a bit more point focused to help out with the team. I chose the Thing and go straight for their Mr. Fantastic. I start to get a little low, so I make my way back to my Jeff before trying to hold the line as best as I can once more. I have no idea what hits me here, some sort of Deadpool thing, but I do manage to secure the kill on Mr. Fantastic. Things go from bad to worse though, as the Thor pops his ultimate and swiftly cleans me up. Once I'm back, I try to apply a bit more pressure on the Thor and Mr. Fantastic once again, but they're applying so much pressure I'm struggling to break them down. They somehow constantly seem to push through into my back line, and regretfully, before we know it, we've lost the first point. We knew that we had to change something up here, and fast. We decided to change formation and run an extra DPS, Hawkeye, and have me adapt into a solo tank. For this, I chose Groot. He has multiple walls that can be good for zoning off areas, is really bulky, and also has surprisingly good damage. My Gambit pops ultimate when we engage, and whilst I'm busy distracting the enemy, our Invisible Woman and Spider-Man manage to pick up some great kills. I quickly punish the Punisher for overextending, and we seize control of the capture area. However, as the next fight began, before I could even attempt to zone off the area, the enemy Jeff scooped me up and threw half of my team and me off the edge of the map. I hate that stupid land shark sometimes. In a desperate attempt to try and reclaim the point, we actually ended up running quad support, which was definitely not the play. And in our final attempt to get back into the game, and despite me taking out Mr. Fantastic, we just weren't able to hang on any longer, and the game went to Team 3 2-0. We were crushed. After such a good first game, to have a defeat in this manner, it felt awful. Not all hope was lost though. The round robin phase came to an end, and Team 3 was able to secure their place straight to the final, which means it will be an uphill battle, but we still have a chance to make it there as well through the losers bracket. This means that we're going to be playing Team 2 again, but this time it's going to be a proper 6v6. The nerves were high, as losing here would spell the end of our time in the tournament. I believed in my team, and we all knew that we had it in us to get to that final. Learning from the first game, we planned to return to a 2-2-2 formation, with me giving Thor another shot since it worked out last time. But as soon as the match started, we encountered a big problem. We got hit with not 1, but 2 crashes on our team. This meant that going into this first fight, we had to go in with 0 DPS, just 2 tanks and 2 supports. Any plans that we originally had were gone, and we had to play purely on instinct. I quickly suggest to our Venom to be our main attacking option and pressure the hell out of their backline whilst I hang back and protect our supports. As we engage on the point though, we get very lucky with both our DPS players managing to get back into the game and the fight. This could not have been at a better time, and it allows me to engage on the enemy tanks. I spot a Lunar Snow just waiting for me, so with the help of Squirrel Girl's ult, we take her out. But at the same time, the enemy Moon Knight managed to get 3 of our players with a single ultimate. We quickly shifted to a more defensive setup, but with their Jeff overextending, I managed to quickly take him out too. I get the chance to push up as well and finish off their rocket. Things are going way too smoothly though, and just as I'm about to take out the returning rocket's beacon, I get taken out. And just as it seems like the round is too far gone, Joey the Jeff pops up with an insane pick on their Lunar Snow. I love that stupid land shark sometimes. Frustratingly, the enemy Jeff gets revived before I can stop him, and before we can properly make an advancement, an all-out brawl commences. I have no idea what I'm even looking at, there's so much going on, but through yet another Moon Knight ultimate, our team is reduced to 2. I swapped to Captain America to hopefully make it back to the point in time, but alas, round 1 goes to Team 2. All I can hear is celebrations from the enemy team behind me. But my team did insanely well there, and I believe that we can still turn this around. They had me moving like Carlo Ancelotti in between rounds, and with a bit of belief injected back into our team, we're ready to go again. As soon as the main fight kicks off, Moon Knight makes a mistake jumping in and I remove him from existence. I also managed to take out the rocket beacon just before Doctor Strange stops time, and whilst I may have gone down, my team secures the point. The enemy team pushed back and countered my ultimate with their own, but at this point I notice a flanking Moon Knight. I'm currently down to about 150 HP, but I know that I have to take this guy out to save my team. We trade a couple of blows before a final standoff. The next hit wins, and just before he hits me with his blade, I take him out. My absence from the point did allow them to recapture, but after regrouping we managed to eliminate their Jeff before once again turning our attention to their tanks and taking it back. My ultimate is queued up and I go for it this time just as they're grouped up. And at the same time, Joey the Jeff strikes again, taking 4 of them away from point. But it wasn't quite enough to kill them, so as they hurry back to point, most of us get eliminated. Suddenly, from looking like we were going to cruise to victory here, we might actually just fall out of this tournament. My slow ass makes its way back to point ASAP, as once again we go for a big final fight. And it's at this point, I lock in. And before Doctor Strange can even lay a finger on the point, we've done it. We're back in it. Round 3, here we go. This is it. The final round. We approach from the right, but I get caught against their team straight away. Not ideal. Once I rejoin the fight, me and Joey the Jeff double up again, but this time he eats me too. I'm pleading with him to spit me out, but the hype was just too real. My team is struggling to break through, and after getting taken out again, I decide it's time for the captain. I launch myself into action. Gambit pops his ultimate, and I destroy the rocket. Next, I spot a low health Moon Knight and stake my claim before he can get healed. But it's happened again. I've been fed to the shark once more. But this time with a little bit more persistent screaming, I'm spat out. Things couldn't be closer. It's time. The ultimate comes out, but so does everybody else's. I get rid of the beacon, but in the process find myself on just 30 HP remaining. It's now or never. I make a last second dash for the point, but the Groot wall cuts me off. I try to readjust and jump over it, but it's over. With 2 points to 1, Team 2 advances to the final against Team 3, and we are out of the tournament. It was sad that we couldn't make it all the way. Maybe if I'd have brought out Captain America a bit sooner, things may have played out differently. But regardless, I'm so proud of my team and what we managed to achieve. And hey, we did walk away with a win in the first game, so we can leave with our heads held high. In the end, we all relaxed and enjoyed watching the final, where Team 3 absolutely decimated Team 2 over 2 games to be crowned champions. But to quote the wise words of Captain America, if we lose, we'll do that together too. Who knows, maybe next time we'll take home the win. But for right now, I think things are pretty good. Thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.